The next song is based entirely on fact. Or very, very nearly, indeed, on fact, then. All right, I'll draw back a little. I was going to the AMP building for work a little while ago, and as I got into the foyer, the sort of fish slab marble foyer place, the doors of the lift began to close before me, and I was quite happy to let them go because I was in work's time. But not so much a man who was immediately behind me. He was obviously self-employed, because he raced forward and flung his umbrella into the closing gap of the doors, because he knew, and indeed I suspected, that this was one of those sort of polite sort of lifts that sort of would touch its cap and sort of go back and open and let us in safety. Well, he knew that, and I thought it, and unfortunately nobody had told the lift. because with no more ado, so to speak, it seized his umbrella between its mechanical jaws and disappeared off to the 15th floor, taking with it nearly all the material and most of the wire things, and he just had a sort of long bar with his grandfather's initials stitched on the end, and I wrote a song called The Head, which is rather disappointing, I'm sure, for you all. I'll tell a tale as black as night, as grim can be, of the day I paid me mortgage down at the AMP. Directed to the 15th floor and to the lift I got. The fellas that came in after me, but the rest of them did not. The doors closed like a guillotine, the lift flew like a bird. All the way to the 15th floor, the head said not a word. When I got up to the office, the mortgage man did say, keeping ahead with your payments, sir, then he fainted clean away. Just a little head, nearly round and rather red, came into my lift and life that day. Just a little head, but as the AMP man said, not wishing to seem funny, but we only want your money, and we'd rather that you took your head away. When I got back to the entrance hall, the crowd had formed a queue, which stretched right up to Hunter Street, the headless man to view. When I walked out with my newfound friend, not a word was said, so busy with his body, no one bothered with his head. Once away from all the crush, I studied my new head. With piggy eyes and double chin, he must have been well fed. He looked a trifle thirsty, and a pub I did perceive, so I bought me head a schooner, but he leaked all down me sleeve. Just a little head, nearly round and very dead, the fruits of automation's gentle arts. Just a little head, but as the ambulance man said, well, I'm very good with shoulders and with backbones bent by boulders, but this little one can do without the parts. Like Anne Boleyn, I walked around the stock exchange that day. The market fell, and with the smell the brokers moved away. I got up to the library, and a chappie grabbed me sleeve. It'll have to stay out here, he said, collect it when you leave. But in the end, like all good things, our friendship had to cease. So I took me head to Phillip Street, to the sergeant of police. He'd sent me first to homicide, then to the CIB, and finally lost property, who'd got another 3. Just a little head, so be careful where you tread, if you step round to the cop shop any day. Just a little head, but as the chief inspector said, it's been noted and inspected, and if it is not collected, you can come and take your bloody head away.
Brr.